Farrell.
Sorry about that. With all that gear on you, it's a little awkward.
It's a little tight space.
Yeah, the chair doesn't have wheels. You're free to move it back a little as long as you use your command voice into the microphone so we can hear you. I don't want you to get indigestion because all your gear's pushing you in.
That should be fine, Your Honor.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good
Where are
morning.
you currently employed?
Yes, I am.
Where?
Clinton County Sheriff's Office.
In what capacity?
I'm a sheriff's deputy.
What are some of your duties and responsibilities as a sheriff's deputy with Clinton County?
With the Clinton County Sheriff's Office, have responsibility to the courts and also on the streets as well.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, I'm sorry.
Set on the streets and also on the courts.
And when did you start this?
I started in August of 2023.
Where did you work before?
Before I was with South Fulton Police Department.
And what was your position there?
I was a police corporal.
What were some of your duties and responsibilities as a police corporal?
Responsibilities was responding to 911 calls for service.
Are you post-certified?
Yes, I am.
You completed your mandatory training?
Yes.
Were you post-certified in September of 2022?
Yes.
I want to direct your attention to September 7th of 2022. Were you working at that time?
Yes.
Were you happened to be called to 5100 Welcome Road?
Yes.
What county?
It was South Fulton.
And what time were you dispatched to that location?
Be around 7 p.m.
Gonna be a little after 7 p.m.?
Yes.
Now, what kind of location is this?
It's a apartment complex.
Did there come a point in time when you arrived at the scene?
Yes.
Can you please tell the jury what happened when you arrived at the scene?
Responding to the location in reference to a person shot. Upon my arrival, located the apartment that 911 call came from and entered into the apartment and made contact with the people on the inside.
Was that apartment C7?
Yes, it is.
When you entered the apartment, what did you see?
Observed the black male laying on the ground, motionless. Also observed a female holding compression on his left leg area with a towel and a belt used as a tourniquet.
Now, this female that you observed, what was her demeanor?
She was very hysterical and crying. She started saying that she was being abused and the guy hit the child.
Objection, hearsay.
Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor, this is an excited utterance. The witness just testified that she was hysterical and crying, and it's also a present sense impression. She made these statements while actually in the event.
Literally, she just said yes, like before this incident about the child. That was not an excited utterance.
I didn't follow your point again. I'm not.
I don't know what he's talking about with the child or when that happened. So I don't see how this could be an excited utterance when it's not currently happening. What's currently happening is Mr. Lawson is bleeding out.
Okay. I didn't hear the part about the child. That doesn't mean you didn't say it. But I do find that the things that Ms. McCrary was saying in this instance, as in like walking in and Officer Farrell says, what happened, would constitute excited utterances. If we go much further, did you take her to the side and interview her? We'll be moving away from the ambit of an excited utterance exception to the hearsay objection.
Yes, Your Honor, the state wasn't going to go much further.
Okay.
So you asked her what happened,
Yes.
and just so the record can be clear, what did she, please take her demeanor again.
Before you answer, you've preserved the objection. I know this is the questions coming in again. You're not waiving anything by letting it be answered the second time. I think it's just for clarity's sake. But your objection that it's hearsay applies to the answer that's about to come as well.
Thank you.
What was her demeanor?
She was very hysterical and crying.
And when you asked her what happened, what did she say?
She did advise that she did shoot him in the leg. And she also stated that he abused her and hit the child.
Did she say he hit the child or he pushed the child?
Could be one, I believe she stated hit.
Now, after she told you that she shot him and that he abused her and hit the child, what did you do next?
I then asked her to stand on her feet and asked her to come with me. That I'm gonna detain her temporarily until the investigation is completed. And I escorted her outside to my patrol vehicle.
Now, you said detain her. Did you put handcuffs on her?
Yes, I did.
And why did you detain her?
Just to remove her from the crime scene and to keep her for her safety plus mine and all other individuals around.
And where did you put her?
I placed her in the right seat of my patrol vehicle.
Did you come to learn her name?
Yes, I did.
And what was her name?
Her name was Miss McCrary.
Anicia McCreary?
Yes.
Now, as first responding officer, was it your duty to fully investigate the entire scene?
No, I only do conduct a preliminary investigation due to the type of incident that we responded to.
Now, were investigators called to the scene?
Yes.
And did they end up coming to the scene?
Yes, they did.
Now, while you were detaining her, is detain the same thing as arrest? I don't know if I asked that.
They're both similar. They are the same: detain, arrest.
But was she being charged with anything at that
No,
time?
she was not.
Now, did you observe any injuries on her?
Yes, she had a bruise to her left, to her mouth, and also had some blood in her mouth.
Now, was your body camera recording?
Yes, recorded everything.
Theory what body camera is?
Body camera is what we wear daily for agency policies, so we can record our interaction with individuals or anything outside the scope of a 911 call.
I'm gonna hand you State's Exhibit 12, which I previously shown to the defense. Please look at State's Exhibit 12. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
What do you recognize that to be?
This will be a copy of my body cam footage.
Your body camera?
Yes,
And did you sign that CD?
yes, I did.
And is this a fair and accurate depiction of the body camera footage from September 7th, 2022, this incident?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves State's Exhibit 12 into evidence.
She's on that for the set. Okay. No, Your Honor.
No objection?
No objection.
Okay. It's admitted.
Your Honor, at this time, the state will be playing the first around 7 minutes of the body camera footage,
All right.
previously discussed with the defense.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. You're familiar, I know you're familiar with the entirety of the footage, but the first 7 minutes, no objection to publishing that?
Correct. Your Honor.
Okay.
Yo, C7.
Hey, officer, C7, to the back down your right, last one right.
Excuse me. South Phone PD.
663 569, sir. He's right here. Sir, please.
221 radio.
Sir, yes,
Go ahead. I'll have fire 4 coming.
Officer.
Who shot him? You? Okay, come with me.
Yes, he was
It's okay.
He pushed my child.
It's okay. Come on this way. I'm going. Wait, let me grab you by your arm, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm a temporary transport. Here you go. Here you go. Hold on. Somebody get some
At
in real
least
quick.
get some shoes. Need some shoes.
I got you. Don't worry about it. Let's go get her out. Come on. Let's go get you out.
Okay, we gonna get them. Just
She's having an asthma attack. McBurney's having an asthma attack.
Yes, I got you. Let me put these cuffs on you right quick, okay? You able to put your other hand behind here? There you go. Thank you. Wait, let me put the double locks on you so you don't move. Go help them with I got you. Yes, they're coming. To the one let's go up here in the front. I'm gonna have you see them in my car with the air, okay? No, we're gonna investigate everything out possible. Okay?
Which one is your car?
Mine's the one in the front.
Up here?
Yeah.
Oh God, I never had a
221 radio. One is detained. Have fire. Step it up. And units in the entrance. Can I get one of y'all to move the two vehicles?
Please, sir, please. Oh God.
Sit in as best as you can, okay?
Yes, sir.
She's not going anywhere yet. Okay? You can sit sideways and put your feet up, okay? Just relax. Just relax,
Yes,
okay?
sir. Yes, sir.
Just keep calm.
Please, can you talk to me, sir?
I surely will. Let me see if I get this window to go down because they got a problem with it.
Yes, I'm okay, Tanya. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Calm down.
I'm okay.
All right. It's gonna be okay.
Please,
Sure.
Let me turn the AC up, okay?
please, sir.
Okay.
Sir, please.
I got you. You have look. Look, investigator's gonna talk to you and everything, okay?
They got it.
Hey, you came home drunk?
Yes, sir. He tried to tell me
Oh, man.
I told him to stop, and he tried to leave out the home for some reason, and I was like, why are you going? You had something to drink. So I attempted to take the keys from him, my car keys,
Okay.
and he told me to give him the house keys, so I was like, okay, but then he would not give me the house, he would not give me the car keys, so I stood in front of the door, and I told him, you're not gonna leave because that you risk getting somebody dying. You killing yourself. It's innocent lives out here.
Definitely understand.
And all I wanted was the keys and for him to lay down and go to sleep to sober up. And
Is he, like, are y'all married or anything?
no, it's my son's father and my 2-year-old is in my house. And just yesterday, I don't know what's going on with him. Just yesterday, he had hit my 2-year-old. And I have photos in my phone because he had peed on himself.
Did you call the PD?
No, what I told him was, I told him he needs to leave. I said, because what you're not going to do is you're not going to be abusing him. And for some reason, he told me that he was going to stop drinking, and I believed him, but it's just a hot mess, and I just want my kids out of this situation. He bust my lip, as you can, I'm not sure
Yeah,
you can see.
I can see the blood still in
He
your mouth.
punched me, and I was telling him to back up, get away from me, because he balled up his fist and he was getting ready to punch me. And I told him, Larry, please do not come close to me. I don't want to do this. And I shot him in the leg because you can ask my daughter without me even being right here. He pushed her. He pushed her and told her that your father is not in your life. And I'm the one that helped take care of these bills.
What's your date of birth?
My date of birth is May 4th, 1990. I've never been in this situation.
What's your last name?
McBurney, MCC.
Oh, it's okay. Calm down, okay?
MCC-R-A-Y.
R-A-R-Y?
Yes, sir.
What's your first name?
K-A-N-E-S-S-I-A. I just want to get my name.
Kinesia? Okay. What's a good contact number for you? Huh?
678.
678?
Yes, sir. 698. 6527.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, as soon as EMS clear out there, we can move up.
I just want to hold my babies. I just want to make sure they're
Just
okay. I don't want to leave my kids. How would live?
You won't leave.
How would I try to live without them? I've been taking care of them.
You will, just relax.
Stop upset. Calm
It's just been me and them,
It's
son.
okay.
You're gonna be fine.
You're gonna be okay, okay?
Can I give her a beautiful
Lip balm?
She's an asthmatic.
I've been trying, God.
I know.
I've been looking at
Hey,
enrolled in college just today.
Niecy,
Oh, just relax.
Just to come along and
You're gonna be
now I'm in college.
Hush. She can her eyes okay. And take this. Breathe in. And it's squirting.
The state is stopping at around 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Now, Officer Farrell, previously on direct examination, you testified that when you first walked in the apartment, Ms. McCurry stated that the defendant hit the child. Did that body camera refresh your recollection as to what she actually stated?
Yes,
Okay, and what was it?
that he pushed the child.
Now, you also stated on the body camera that we're going to investigate everything. What did you mean by that?
Mean that once a detective gets on scene, he's gonna obtain what preliminary information that I had, and then he's gonna take a look at the crime scene, and then he'll have a conversation with Miss McCrary.
That was Detective Dickerson?
Yes,
Now, besides being the first responder, did that end your involvement in this case?
yes, it clearly would until the detective get on scene.
And then you spoke with the detective?
Yes.
Right. No further questions?
Ms. Feely?
Morning.
Fair to say it's against the law to shoot somebody, right?
Yes.
But it is not against the law if you claim it was self-defense, right?
Objection, Your Honor. The law is given by the judge. He's not the judge. He doesn't give the law. He's not here to testify onto the law, and that he's not an expert in the law either. Neither is he a lawyer.
We don't know that he's not a lawyer, but I'll let you ask that question. We won't dive into the depths of provocation and this and that, but if you may ask the question again and he can answer it, and then we should get away from law.
So when you arrived on scene, you observed someone had been shot, is that right?
That is correct.
And you determined who had shot that person, is that right?
Oh, once we obtain that information, yes.
So, and that person was Ms. McCrary.
Yes,
And so at that point, you had enough probable cause to detain her, is that fair?
that's correct.
And you're familiar with you take out warrants, is that fair to say?
That is correct.
So it's fair to say that with the information that you had at first, she should have been arrested for aggravated assault, right?
That will not be up to my decision. That will be up to the detective.
So you're saying you're not involved at all with charging
No,
someone with a crime? Okay, so you do not take out warrants?
no.
then?
Once the investigator comes on scene, they investigate the totality of all the circumstances and then make a decision.
Okay, and so you put her in handcuffs?
Yes,
And you took her to your patrol car?
Mhm.
And you put her in your patrol car?
that's correct.
And at that point, you started gaining more information, is that right?
Yes,
And ultimately, you don't want to discuss why, but ultimately you did not arrest her, is that right?
that's correct.
Would it have been your decision to arrest or not arrest, or that would have been this investigator
It would
Dickerson?
have been the investigator's decision.
I'm showing you what has been marked as defense 1 and 2.
Mhm.
You recognize what's in those 2 exhibits?
It will be photos of McCrary.
And is that are those fair and accurate depictions of what Ms. McCrary looked like at the time?
Yes,
Your Honor, this time I moved to admit defense 1 and 2.
Any objection, Ms. Beza, to defense 1 and 2?
No.
Okay, do you all have a witness list? I mean, an exhibit list?
You don't?
Okay, a sticker fell off. You want to get that?
So it is your testimony that Ms. McCary was injured, is that right?
that is correct.
And her injuries were scratches on the face, right?
No, it was a busted bruise to her mouth.
So on this night, when these pictures were taken, she had, was it a bruise to her mouth?
Yes,
You didn't know any other injuries on Ms. McCrary?
no.
Is that right? You didn't, you wrote a police report in this case, is that right?
Yes, I did have to do a little brief report for what I did and what I saw.
And you have training on how to write reports, right?
That's correct.
You know they have to be thorough.
Hmm.
And they have to be accurate.
Yes.
And give a response. They have to be accurate, right?
Yes,
Because attorneys will rely on them several years later for trial, right?
that's correct.
And you did not note anything about an injured child in your report. Is that fair?
That is fair.
And you didn't see an injured child on the scene, is that right?
That's correct.
And in your discussions with Ms. McCrary when she was being detained in the back of the police car, she never mentioned having been strangled, right?
No,
She didn't mention being held down.
no, not to me.
And again, you were the first person she spoke with, right?
That's correct.
And you did not interact with Mr. Lawson that night?
No, I did not.
Right?
Mhm.
That's all we have this time, right?
Any redirect?
Briefly, Your Honor. You were asked questions on cross-examination about Ms. McCrary's injuries in relation to the report. Did you document her injuries in the report?
I did document her injuries from what I saw.
And what did you write in your report in regards to her injuries? And if you need a refresher recollection, I can give you a copy of your report.
I will need a copy, please.
I'm showing. Approaching the witness when your memory is refreshed. Can you please look up and then I'll re-ask the question?
Yes.
Your memory refreshed?
Yes,
What did you, and when you write your report, is your report written contemporaneously with the events that occurred, or do you write it years later?
I write it in reference to what occurred, the information that I received.
And do you write your report, physically write your report shortly thereafter the incident?
Yes.
All right, and what injuries did you document as to Ms. McCrary?
I documented that I observed swelling and bleeding to the right side of her mouth.
Now, you also were asked questions in regards to whether or not initially she told you that she was strangled, correct?
That's correct.
Approximately during your tenure as an officer, approximately how many scenes have you responded to?
A lot of scenes, a lot of them.
And do you interact a lot in your response to these scenes with people that are in panic?
Not quite. I try to keep them calm, and I try not to get into asking questions into reference to what happened, because that is for the detective to get to.
I guess my question is, when you respond to scenes, oftentimes are people that you initially interact with crying and hysterical,
No, not always.
but sometimes?
Sometimes.
Now, in your experience, responding to scenes when people are crying and hysterical, do you expect to get the full story, play by play of every single thing that happened when the person is in panic mode?
Objection, speculation.
From his experience.
Okay, so from your experience, is that what has happened?
Yes. Usually we don't get when we respond to shooting scenes, we don't have someone who's hysterical and crying or not always there on the scene when we arrive.
But if someone in your experience that is hysterical and crying, do you expect to get the full story play by play of every single thing that happened?
No.
No further questions.
Ms. Feely, any recross?
We are going to attempt to publish defense one.
Okay. Is that going to require the Elmo?
No, we were.
Oh, you've got it. Okay.
If it doesn't work. So you noted in your report that you yourself observed swelling and bloodstains. Is that right?
That's correct.
Fair to say in this picture, there does not appear to be bloodstains.
It would be to her mouth, which in the photo it doesn't have up close photo of her mouth area. This is just a whole body photo of her at the time.
And it's fair to say her eyes don't look blackened or anything like that.
Not in this photo, no.
And you didn't take any additional photos of her in these stripes?
No, our crime scene would have.
That's the crime scene people like to talk about, right?
Yes.
If they were gonna take
Yeah,
pictures of her.
they would document.
Do you want to pull it up? Katie? Yeah. Put share and then go to desktops.
We can try to get the Elmo working if you want. No?
I mean, it's still evidence, we can publish
Okay.
it at a later time.
Got it.
Where do you go?
All right. Anything else?
Yeah.
Any questions from the jurors for Officer, or now Deputy Farrell?
Thank you. Where are you supposed to go with your share? Oh, wait. Like,
Closed.
So
Two questions. First, tell the jury what post-certified means, please.
being post certified is several months of training that all officers are required to have in order to be a law enforcement officer. We go through different various amounts of training. Once the training is completed, we then receive post certification as a law enforcement officer.
Second question, did you at any point during your time at that scene interact with any children who were inside that apartment?
No, during my time at the scene, I didn't have any other interactions besides being with Miss McCrary.
Ms. Beza, any follow-up based on those two topics?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Feely?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Officer, Deputy, for your time.
Thank you.
And you can leave the documents right there. State's next witness.
The state calls crime scene technician Gash.
Do you want to get from the witness stand the other things? Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
This is what part, that's the one you for each state, let your name for the record.
First name Samantha, Samantha. Last name Gash, Gaasch.
Where are you currently employed?
City of South Fulton Police Department.
In what capacity?
Currently as an officer.
And what are some of your duties and responsibilities as an officer?
Currently I'm assigned to Digital Forensics Division, so I handle visual evidence.
Now, how long have you held this position?
This current position, a couple months.
Where were you assigned before?
The crime scene unit.
And what was your position in this crime scene unit?
I was a crime scene technician, so non-sworn position.
What were some of your duties and responsibilities as a crime scene technician?
Document, collect, and preserve evidence.
Now, how long did you serve in the position as a crime scene technician?
3.5 years.
Now, when you are on scene, can you please tell the jury how you processed crime scene?
So typically, I get a call from a supervisor or supervisor in CID in the Criminal Investigations Division of a request for service. Mainly, there's a scene that we need to process. So I'll respond to the scene. I'll meet with responding officers or detectives that are on scene to give me kind of an idea of what we're looking at. I process the scene from least invasive to most invasive, mainly photographs, looking around, finding evidence, marking it, collecting it, securing it for a later date.
Now, direct your attention to September 7th of 2022 at approximately 7:30 p.m. You were requested to respond to 5100 Welcome All Road.
I was, yes.
Now, what county is that in?
In Fulton County.
Can you please tell the jury what kind of location this is?
So this is an apartment complex sort of area.
And why did you respond to the scene?
I responded to a call for a person shot.
Now, I'm going to hand you, did you document this scene?
I did document
How?
via photographs mainly.
I'm going to hand you State Exhibits 13 through 49 and 59 through 75. Please look at those photographs. And do you recognize those photographs?
I do recognize the photographs.
What do you recognize those photographs to be?
These were the photographs I took of apartment C7 on that date.
And at the end of State Exhibits 59 through 75, did you also take photographs of a Tunisia McCrary?
I did.
And are these fair and accurate depictions of the crime scene and of Tunisia McCrary that you took that day?
It is.
And at this time, the state moves States Exhibit 13 through 49 and 59 through 75 into evidence.
59 through,
75.
okay. There's a 76 and a 77. You're going to do that at a later time.
You're a different witness, Tunisia McCrary.
Okay, got it. Any objection
No,
from
you're-
the defense?
No, you're.
Those are all admitted.
Now, can you, before we publish the photos, can you please tell the jury how you processed this crime scene?
So after I met with detectives and other officers on scene, they walked me through, do a brief walkthrough, be least invasive as possible. I go through and document every part of the scene that I see via photographs. So entryways, everything in between. I will go from overall photos, mid-range, close-up photographs to be as complete and thorough with documentation via photograph. I was made aware of 2 pieces of evidence. I marked one. Item number 1 was a gun found on the kitchen counter, a black Taurus G3, which was rendered safe with the magazines and was pulled out, and it was nothing in the chamber. Item number 2, later found in the master bedroom, was a 9mm spent casing. I documented via photograph, collected items of evidence with my protective equipment, and secured them.
Now, at this time, the state would like to publish States Exhibits 13 through 49 and 59 through 75. Starting with 13, what are we looking at in this photo?
This is a photograph of the outside of the apartment complex depicting which units are in that building.
States Exhibit 14,
The front door of that unit C7.
Hold on one sec.
we'll go back to that. Now, you stated that you collected 2 pieces of evidence, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to hand you States Exhibit 51 and State's Exhibit 52. Can you please look at State's Exhibit 51 and State's Exhibit 52? Do you recognize those?
I do.
What do you recognize those to be?
Exhibit 51 is the black Taurus G3 collected as evidence item number 1. And then State's Exhibit 52 appears to be the packaged and secured evidence item number 2 as a 9mm Luger spent casing.
And are these the items that you collected while on the scene?
I did, yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves State's Exhibit 51 and State's Exhibit 52 into evidence.
Any objection, Ms. Feely, to 51 and 52?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, they're admitted.
Now, can you please use these gloves and publish first State's Exhibit 51? You can just open the box, you don't have to take it out.
Am I showing this one again?
Yeah, you can tilt it and show it, or if you want to take it out. Let the record reflect the witness is publishing State's Exhibit 51. And in State's Exhibit 52, that's just a shell casing, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is 52. Am I showing this one again?
Yeah, you can tilt it and show it, or if you want to take it out. Let the record reflect the witness.
So I think it would work through Ms. Crutchfield. She just needed to go to slideshow. She wasn't using slideshow within PowerPoint. If whoever's going to do it.
Got it. Okay. What are we, so we talked about State's Exhibit 13. What are we looking at State's Exhibit 14?
14 is the exterior of the front door for unit C7.
And then 15?
15 is a close-up showing which unit we're looking at, C7.
If you will hit, does it say stay mute? What's on your screen there?
Stay muted.
Yeah, stay muted.
Okay.
And then you can just look at the screen. It should be what they're asking you.
You're welcome to look at the hard copies, however you want to do it, but the screen should be the same thing.
Thank you.
Sure.
State's Exhibit 16, what are we looking at here?
This is a close-up for suspected blood on the exterior of the door frame.
And State's Exhibit 17?
This is inside the apartment, just by the front door.
18?
It's still in that front room, panning up to get overall photographs of the inside.
And this is as you are standing at the front door?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 19?
This is continuing to the right, looking at that first room inside, just inside the apartment.
State's Exhibit 20?
Continuing again towards the TV in that front room.
21?
Continuing again, you can see the hall on the right-hand side.
And what was at the end of that hall?
The bedrooms were down the hall. I believe the master bedroom was on the far left.
What's in State's Exhibit 22?
There's medical equipment and suspected blood with towels looking towards the dining room from that first room entering the apartment.
23?
This is looking further down that hallway with more suspected blood in those towels.
24?
This is another angle for looking towards the dining room from that first room at the suspected blood and towels.
How about 25?
You can see the dining room on the left. It is still in that first room of the apartment, panning over towards the kitchen.
26?
This is including the first room in the apartment looking down the hallway as well.
27?
This is further down the hallway towards the master bedroom. You can see suspected blood on the floor.
Okay. And 28?
So this is more of a close-up 90-degree photo of the hallway with suspected blood.
29?
This is at the end of the hallway with several items scattered on the ground and suspected blood.
And where are you walking at this moment?
So this is coming straight from the front door of the apartment down the hallway. You can see the entrance to the master bedroom on the left-hand side.
30?
This is another photograph at the end of the hallway with items on the ground.
As you're walking into the bedroom?
Correct.
31?
This is the entryway to the master bedroom on the far left. This is just the floor entering that bedroom.
32?
This is just inside that master bedroom, still looking at the floor.
How about 33?
This is in the master bedroom, at the foot of the bed, panning mostly towards the floor.
And what is that on the ground suspected?
There is suspected blood at the foot of the bed.
And what is that black structure to the left of the photo?
It appears to be a TV stand.
Moving to 34.
This is a more direct view of the TV stand, so the TV would be facing the right.
Now, there's a 2 in the corner of that photo. What is that?
There is, that would be evidence marker number 2 depicting a 9mm casing, spent casing.
Moving on to 35.
This is the master bedroom as it pans right towards the closet.
36.
The floor of the master bedroom adjacent to the right side of the bed.
37.
The master bedroom, it's one of the corners of the bed.
Moving on to 38.
Still the master bedroom, it's looking more towards the foot of the bed. You can see the suspected blood on the floor as well.
39.
Still the master bedroom at the foot of the bed, still looking at the floor. You can see the suspected blood at the bottom of the photograph.
And 40.
This is the master bedroom floor. You can see the bottom of the bed on the left-hand side and the TV stand on the right.
This is a different angle.
This is, yes, this is looking towards the entry door for the master bedroom.
41.
This is you can see the bed on the right-hand side. At the top of the photograph is the TV stand. So the entrance to the master bedroom would be on the left side.
And so that purported blood on the floor, that's towards the door, not the corner where the shell casing is, correct?
Correct.
Moving on to 42.
So this is still the master bedroom floor. As you're looking at the door to the master bedroom, so you see the bed on the left, suspected blood at the foot of the bed, and then the TV stand on the right.
43.
This is now on the left side of the bed. So we're still in the master bedroom. TV stand is on the left, the bed is on the left, and the far wall is on the right.
Moving on to 44.
So this is more that far bedroom wall on the right-hand side. So the bed would be to the left as well as the TV stand and the door.
And 45.
This is still the master bedroom on that far corner with the bed, the door, and the TV stand on the left. You can see evidence marker number 2 a little closer, depicting the 9mm spent casing.
46.
This is a close-up photograph of evidence marker number 2, depicting the 9mm spent casing.
And then 47.
This is right in front of the TV stand. You can see the entrance to the master bedroom, the top left corner. You can also see the suspected blood on the floor on the left-hand side.
Can you see from far away also a defect in the TV stand?
Yes, on the center bottom shelf, the bottom left corner, you can see a suspected bullet defect.
48.
This is a close-up photograph with a scale depicting the defect of a suspected bullet in that TV stand and that bottom center compartment.
49.
This is more of a mid-range photograph of that same suspected bullet defect in the center bottom console or the compartment for the TV stand.
Okay, what are we at now at 59?
This is a photograph depicting evidence marker number 1 on the kitchen counter, which is the black Taurus G3 rendered safe.
And 60?
Panning farther to the rest, still to the right, still on the kitchen counter, is evidence marker number 1, the Taurus.
What are we looking at, 61?
So this is more of a close-up photograph of evidence marker number 1. You can see the ejected magazine on the left-hand side, the black Taurus G3 on the right, and then the single intact live round 9mm at the top, sort of the top of the screen.
62?
This is a close-up photograph of the magazine where you can see how many rounds are still in the magazine.
63? Oops, sorry. Hold on, sorry. 63?
Close-up of the actual firearm, the Taurus G3, as evidence marker number 1.
64?
This is the same firearm, just flipped on the opposing side, to see the serial number near the slide.
55.
This is a close-up for the serial number on that Taurus G3. This is a close-up showing the model of the firearm.
That's 66. Moving on to 67.
This is looking at the rest of the kitchen. So the firearm would be on the left-hand side on that counter next to the sink.
And 68.
Panning farther to the right, this is the opposing counter of the kitchen and the stove.
We're looking at 69.
So this is the dining area. If you were to walk directly out of the kitchen, this would be the shot of the dining table.
70.
This is panning left from the dining table. You can see the suspected blood in the towel that was seen from the entry room of the apartment.
Now, did you also take picture of Kenesia McCreary?
I did.
And what are we looking at in 71?
So this is a photograph of her from head to toe from the front.
72.
This is still showing her and from head to toe from the front.
73.
This is showing her head to toe from the back.
74.
These are the palms of Miss McCreary.
And 75.
And then these are just the back sides of her hands.
Why'd you take pictures of the palms of her hands?
It's customary when we do the gunshot residue kit, we do take photographs of the hands. Any photographs will be taken of anyone on scene that was involved that may have any items of evidence. So her hands had a little bit of blood on the bed of her fingernails. So I was photographing that and documenting it.
Okay. Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness. Thank you.
Ms. Feely?
Yes, thank you.
Questions for the crime scene technician?
Good afternoon. So you were responding to this location to investigated gunshot or shooting, is that right?
Correct.
And so you, as a crime scene technician, have training with processing these types of crime scenes, right?
Correct.
This wasn't your first shooting investigation.
It was not.
And so as you talked about, you document, collect, and preserve it.
Correct.
And you did that in this case.
Correct.
And you, in fact, wrote a report about it as well, right?
I did.
A very thorough report.
Thank you.
And the photographs that were published, particularly states 38 and somebody 21 to 31, they show blood throughout the home. And those are that's the blood of the shooting victim, is that right?
It's suspected blood that I see on scene. I didn't run any tests on it to determine whose or what it is.
You took pictures of it
I photographed it as I saw it, yes.
because it was part of what you were investigating, is that right?
Yes, it appeared to be.
And you took photographs of the purported shooter as well, right?
I took pictures of someone who was involved and detained on scene.
And you were so thorough that you even took a picture of her finger where there was some good suspected blood under her fingernail, is that right?
I took general photographs of her hands, yes.
And I'm repeating you what's remind us, if you want to do it right. These are the photographs that you took of someone you said was involved, right? Suspected to be involved.
Yes.
But you were never asked to take pictures of any injuries of that person, is that right?
At the time, I believe I was not made aware of other potential injuries. I was just made aware of her hands.
And so you photographed everything that you saw of evidentiary value on that scene, right?
Yes.
Now, in one of, well, actually several of the exhibits, you mentioned a shell casing. Is that right?
There was one spent 9mm casing labeled as evidence marker number 2.
And where was the location of that shell casing?
Master bedroom floor.
What does the location of that shell casing tell you about where the shooter was, if anything?
It potentially indicates the shooting occurred in the master bedroom because the casing ejects from the firearm immediately as it's being fired.
And then you mentioned the suspected bullet in the TV stand, is that right?
Defect, suspected bullet defect on the TV stand.
And then what, if anything, does it tell you this location of the bullet and shell casing? What, if anything, does it tell you about the location of the person's shot?
The way that the bullet travels through the TV stand could indicate where the bullet was initially fired from, shot from, and then that in reference with where the shell casing was recovered indicates where the gun was fired.
Where the shooter was, right?
Correct.
But it doesn't tell you anything about where anyone else in the room might have been,
Not necessarily.
or anyone in the hallway might have been.
No.
Now, fair to say, there was at least one more bullet that didn't end up in the nightstand. Is that fair?
I'm not sure what you mean.
So there was a bullet in the nightstand, right? A defect.
There's a defect, yes.
And then there was a shooting victim, right?
There's a victim, yes.
So there was, based on your investigation, 2 shots fired.
Objection, Your Honor. A, she already testified that she was a crime scene technician, not the lead investigator. Counsel keeps using the word investigation. She didn't do an investigation, so this is outside the scope of her testimony and also outside the scope of the direct.
Well, overruled as to the latter, this witness can explain the scope of her responsibilities. You can use the verb you want, but you can ask your question again.
Now, I might have misunderstood, but I thought that your title was crime scene investigator.
It is a crime scene technician.
So, going back to, there was a defect in the nightstand. So there was a bullet fired and it ended up in the nightstand. Is that right?
I did not end up recovering the actual projectile. So as far as I'm aware, that is a potential bullet defect that traveled through the nightstand. So I don't know where that particular one necessarily ended up. Could have been the floor under the TV stand, the floor below. I know that it traveled through and I was unable to recover that projectile.
So where it could have ended up is in relation to that nightstand, right? It wasn't like outside or anything.
I mean, it could have gone through the floor, in which case it would have been outside the apartment, but sure.
But that bullet did not hit anyone because it hit the nightstand. Is that right?
Objection, Your Honor, speculation, as the bullet could have gone through the leg and hit the nightstand.
Oh, she can explain that. You can answer the question.
I cannot tell you where it went beforehand. I know that it did leave the gun, and then on a separate occasion, it did enter the nightstand.
And you did not collect any other projectiles, is that right?
I did not collect any projectiles, meaning the actual bullet that left the gun. I did collect one spent casing.
But there was someone who was hit by a bullet that, right?
Objection, asked and answered.
Sustained.
So you were not asked to take any photographs of anyone else on scene, is that right?
To my knowledge, there was no one else on scene that I was made aware of that was involved in that incident.
What did I have this time around?
All right. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Any questions from the jurors for the crime scene technician? Thank you. All right, counsel, I will see you out in the hallway. Ladies and gentlemen, sit tight. This is not a break. I just need to run through these questions with the lawyers, and then I will be right back and pose some to our witness. So first, everyone back? Excellent. Did you see a gun lockbox anywhere in your examination of the apartment?
A lockbox?
Gun lockbox.
No.
Gun. So fire, a lockbox, you would store a gun in. Nothing to do with brand or make or model of gun, but
I don't recall, so if I did see one, I would have taken a photograph of it.
were you able to tell, is this something you would have done as part of your processing of the scene? How many live rounds, so cartridges, were in the magazine of the firearm, and thus how many weren't in there? If it was a 10-round magazine and there were 6 in it.
So I did take the photograph to initially document that, where you can see roughly how many are still in the magazine. I know there was the one that was ejected upon clearing the firearm. We do have all of the live rounds that were collected with the gun still in the box here, which I believe was 10 rounds altogether, including the live round, which was ejected to make it safe.
Are you able to tell by looking at the photograph of the magazine, or the magazine, if it's sitting in there, the capacity of the magazine?
It was on the photograph. I don't remember which one, but it was published as one of these photographs.
63,
Yeah, 62
62?
indicates, try not to lose all these papers.
We can put it on the screen too. Can we
Okay,
put
I'm
up
not
62,
sure with
please?
the, how dark it's printed out. I don't know if it's on.
If the magazine is in that box, you're also welcome
I
to
guess I can put this.
take a look at that.
So this indicates 15, potentially 16 rounds can fit into the magazine. Do we need the number of live rounds?
Please?
Ten live rounds.
So there would have been 9 in the magazine and 1 in the chamber when you or someone in your presence cleared the gun.
Correct.
Okay. Do you know how the gun ended up on the counter where you found it? Without saying someone told me X.
I did not physically witness how the gun ended up there.
It's where it was when you got there.
When I arrived on scene, that is where the gun was.
Okay. Did you gather any information about who belonged to which shoes? And there's a bunch of flip-flops or Crocs, house shoes in that hallway. Was that part of the work you did to figure out those shoes belong to this person and the other shoes belong to another person?
I was not made aware of any information pertaining to the shoes in the house, nor did I make any investigation to do so.
Okay. And finally, were you asked by an investigator or anyone else to try to determine where the shooter was when a shot or shots were fired?
I was not asked to determine the exact location of a shooter. It really would give me an indication of where the gun was, not necessarily much about the shooter. But all evidence that I had would pertain to where the gun was fired.
Okay.
I didn't make actual investigations to figure out that exact location.
Okay, but let's follow up on that thread. Based on the work you did, where did that tell you the gun was when it was discharged?
Around the foot of the bed. So the cartridge ejects to the right. So with the cartridge to the right, they'd be at the foot of the bed, aiming more towards the left side of the TV stand at a very low angle to show exactly how that bullet traveled through the TV stand. It would have been obviously up with the casing to the right.
Ms. Beza, any follow-up with this witness based on those questions?
Yes, Your Honor, briefly.
You always say briefly.
You testified in regard to the lockbox and taking pictures of the lockbox, or not taking pictures, or not seeing a lockbox. Did you take pictures of the interior of the closet?
I took overall photographs of the entire apartment, including the closet.
Did you take pictures of every single portion of the interior of the bedroom closet?
I don't recall moving much. So I mean, I didn't see every single square inch of that closet.
You could have missed the lockbox.
It is very possible.
No further questions? Brief.
This one was. Ms. Feely, any follow-up for the crime scene technician?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, ma'am, for your time. Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to break for lunch now. That clock is directionally correct, meaning it's afternoon, it's not yet 1. And we're going to use it as my timer. And I'd like to get you back here by 1:20, so a 1-hour lunch break. And then you can let me know when we reconvene if that was enough time based on how far you need to go and get back. If it was too much time, you were waiting for 15 minutes and we could have started earlier. But we'll start with an hour for lunch and we can adjust it for Wednesday to more time if you need it, or a little less time. And then we'll reconvene. During this lunch break, it's fine if you eat together. You don't have to eat as a group of 14. We don't escort you to a place and you eat as a unit. If you are together, don't talk about the case. Talk about anything else. Don't talk about the case. No outside research. You have demonstrated a great ability to have questions and ask them. Do it that way and not any other way. In the future, I don't know that this might have been in the email you got last night. You're also free to bring your lunch. That refrigerator can refrigerate things. You will have great trouble getting into the building a metal fork or knife. So don't bring that. And I think glass won't come in either. And so if you've got your little bit of casserole on a glass thing, it will stay on the other side of the security wall and won't be able to come in with you. But if you can bring it in Tupperware and you want it cooled in a refrigerator and then you heat it in a microwave, those appliances are for you. Any logistical questions before we break for 1 hour? No? Thank you for your time so far.
All right, for the jury.